What we need to do with the Peloton bike then first is just perform a factory reset. That makes it the easiest starting point. You possibly get away without doing the factory reset, but it really doesn't cause any problems. So we'll go into settings here. If, say, normally on the main Peloton screen, there'll be a tab up there. We go System and Factory Reset and Reset Tablet. Erase everything. And this is going to take a couple of minutes here. While it's doing this, this is a good time to take a look at the back of your Peloton, and if you are using a SmartSpin 2K or anything else, you want to make sure that the bike cable from the bike to the tablet is plugged in, because the Peloton is going to check for that to make sure that it can communicate with the bike properly. And otherwise, this would be a good time as well to plug in your micro USB cord if you want. That just plugs into the other side. You'll see the port on the back. Okay, now that the Peloton has booted up,
still waiting here on my end for the Peloton to boot up. I'll press pause and come back once it boots up. Now we're back.
We just have to go through a pretty quick initial setup here with it. So, select your language. English. Okay. Select your wireless network. I don't know that this is really needed. We're just going to say don't have... okay. So, it does need it needs Wi-Fi, so...
I'm going to pause here while it installs the update. Installing the update. This is the Peloton update. This has nothing to do with OpenPelo yet, period. I'm a member, so I will carry on with this step. It will download another update, so I'll pause until this is done. Still downloading the update. Update has been downloaded. Now the Peloton is installing the update. Again, this is all Peloton software. Have not yet started the OpenPelo add apps to your Peloton part yet here after the reset. Still installing the update. We'll pause the video again. Now it's back to another downloading and installing another update. All right, I will go through here. Next, 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 next. Calibration. Calibration successful. Next. I will reactivate the subscription using an existing subscription. I will pause the video while I go through the next steps to activate this again. I have entered the necessary information onto my laptop and will now start the activation, which should carry over here. Oops, I got to add in my email first. Sorry about that. Okay. Logging into Peloton on my laptop. Now this should be able to activate the subscription on the Bike Plus. There we go, activation in progress. Activation complete. I'll hit done. This is all fine. Next. All set to go. I will pause so I can get the video from Anthony Dowd up to this point period. Please note in the video Add Apps to Your Peloton, he did skip home installation. Okay, now we're going to have the video playing in the background on how to continue with the process.
Once we get to this screen, we're golden. Here is the settings button, which you would have already gone to reset your firmware if you saw it. And we're going to select device settings and then system, about tablet, and then scroll down to where it says build number here and just keep clicking build number, and you see you're one step away. One more, you're now a developer. Okay, cool, we're developers. All right, so now we go back in here and we'll go to developer options, and we need to scroll down and turn on a couple of things here. You can turn off the automatic system updates if you'd like, doesn't matter. This is the important one, USB debugging. We need to enable that. And verify apps over USB, we're going to disable that. And then there's one more down here that we'll need. This enable Gable doors. We need that for apps that use Bluetooth for some apps such as SmartSpin 2K.
So I'm pausing the video in the background. On the Bike Plus, enable Gable doors is not an option here. So I'm just slowly scrolling through here. I have not seen enable Gable doors as an option. And now I will recontinue with the background video instructions so you can hear the audio.
All right, now that we're done with that, we're going to go back a couple of times here. And now we go to apps. And you'll see that the list of apps here isn't huge. There's a lot more apps running, and specifically we need to turn one of those off, because if you skip this step, when you plug in your USB, you'll get a prompt that pops up and you won't be able to actually touch it because it'll be blocked. So we'll go up here and select Show System. Now we have a whole bunch more apps. And what we're going to do is scroll down here until...
Sorry, I had to pause. I was looking at the wrong spot as to where Show System might be. I will continue now.
Bunch more apps. And what we're going to do is scroll down here until we see one with a little Peloton logo right there that says Device Management. So we click that and we're going to select Force Stop. Okay, Force Stop. All right. Now that we have that done, now we can go and plug in our USB cable from the Peloton into our computer. And when we do that, we'll get a pop-up here, allow USB debugging. We want to always allow from this computer, and then click allow. Now you're connected to the computer. All right. And now is where some of the...
All right, I did not see that pop up on the Peloton here, but I will continue.
Some of the cool stuff comes in that we get to do. We will go and open up the OpenPelo program again here. And this time, since you did it previously, you won't need to actually click the security again. And you'll see we have device connected and our available apps that we're able to install. Nova Launcher, which you'll want because that will actually, when you reboot your Peloton, it'll be what shows all of your apps on the screen. Smart Spin 2K, in case you have the Smart Spin 2K, which automates your
Just
resistance
using my
knob
laptop
and
with the
lets you ride
audio in the
Swift
background.
and transmits your metrics to other programs over Bluetooth. You'll want that app. It also has a nice trainer mode in it now too. Firefox, which it's always good to have a browser. The Aurora store, which is really cool, that lets you access any of the apps that are on Google Play. So, again, you have to be careful on what you do and don't install from there because they might be too big to actually fit on the tablet, but it allows you to actually install stuff from Google Play. And then what I've found to be the most useful app on the Peloton is Moonlight Streaming. And on a different video,
These are the apps that I'll be installing.
How to actually set up Moonlight Streaming and use Sunshine on the computer. So now all we do, we just click Install Selected Apps. And what OpenPelo does is when it first starts up, it downloads and sets up a program called ADB, the Android Debugging Bridge, which is what allows you to install apps on the Peloton or on any Android device. And then it also just provides this nice little automated list of things that you can install.
Just so you see what's going on. These apps are installing. I have the YouTube video in the background.
We had a problem with Firefox there, but
just following the
the
steps.
rest of them have gone through. This app was just created in the last couple of days. So now if we press the Peloton button here, should have waited a second. All right, we'll go back here. And if we go into apps now, you'll see we have Nova Launcher available.
I'm going to pause here because the apps aren't done installing.
If we go
Okay. Says the apps are done installing. Let me click over here on apps. So you can see now the Firefox that I installed, the Grupetto that was installed, Nova Launcher, going down through, SkyTube Extra, Smart Spin 2K. All right, so I'm going to go back and listen to the video in the background to see what else needs to be done here.
This is kind of important. You want to select Nova Launcher as the default home app. And
so he says to select Nova Launcher as the default home app. Right, when I click this, I actually do not want Nova Launcher as the default home app, as this is set up so that the other users in the house can use it without noticing any sort of changes. The role here for me is to simply have Grupetto installed, so I will continue to listen to the video but not necessarily follow those steps. I just want that video playing in the background.
you'll get this, welcome to Nova Launcher, get started. All right. Most of these, honestly, I only use Nova Launcher on the Peloton, so I can't even tell you what probably most of these settings are, but I just leave them at the default. All right, go home.
So note, you do have to have Nova Launcher working, but I'm not going to have it set as the default. We're going back to the home.
All right, so now we have Nova Launcher on here, and if you click the Peloton button, you are brought to the Nova Launcher screen. So if we click home again here, then now you can see we have the apps that we just installed. You have the Aurora Store, Smart Spin 2K, and Moon. So anyway,
A little bit different here. For me, I am going to use the Peloton launcher as home, and I will set that as always. Again, for me, I want the Peloton Bike Plus to function as it normally does for other users in the household so that it is seamless for them without any noticeable background changes. Without any noticeable changes while they're using it. However, I will know that there have been some background changes for when I use it.
that's how you get all of the apps. Now, if you want to run Smart Spin 2K, you can Open Smart Spin 2K from here.
Below text to speech.
If I want to run the other apps, I would just go back into Settings, Apps, and then select which app I want to install. I will pause the video for a moment while I load up the Grupetto installation. Even though I already have it installed, I do think there's valuable information on NetWalker Google's video on the Grupetto installation and how that works. So now I've opened up
Hello everybody.
the video
I'm
on
excited to give
installing
you a
Grupetto.
project update on what I've been working on the last couple of weeks. It all started when I was looking at
I will
GitHub
fast forward a
and I
bit through
came
this so
across
you
a
guys can
project
listen to it on your
called
own.
Grupetto by a user, Lollipop, and what he was able to do was he found a way to browser. He did my point if it should be. Let's go through and I'll show you how to install. OpenPelo is a program that I made that makes it easier to sideload apps onto the Peloton displays. It gives you a little guided walkthrough of how to enable developer mode, and then also it automatically installs the programs for you. So I'm not going to go into depth on how to install it in this video. If you want those, I've got a couple of other videos. Here's one for Windows and another for Mac. We're going to be using the Mac today. So to install it, we have OpenPelo open on the Mac here. And that never gets old for some reason.
So I'm going to pause this here just to show you that I have OpenPelo installed over here, and I already installed Grupetto earlier on. And back to the video.
I don't know. And you can see in the last little bit we've added a few extra apps here. SkyTube is pretty neat. I might make a video on that. And
I'm going to reposition the phone. Okay, so he's going to go through and discuss
today we'll
these options here.
Grupetto. So just going to click Grupetto and then select Install Selected Apps. And this should just take a second. It's going to download it, send it over the USB cable to the Peloton.
All right, so Grupetto is getting installed. I'm going to pause until he catches up to where I already have Grupetto installed. Now let's click
We need
Grupetto.
to allow device's location because that's what Bluetooth uses while using app.
Open.
And then possibly the only tricky thing in this whole installation is these couple of steps. Grupetto needs permission to draw over other apps. So grant permission. And what you can do here is I like to turn off Peloton, so you can see I have that not allowed. And we'll go into Grupetto. And then just on the right hand side of the screen here, click turn on. And then now here's the tricky part. You have to hit back and back one more time, and it brings you into Grupetto. So then we have a couple other options here. Show timer when the overlay's minimized. I don't really use the timer for anything, so we'll turn that off. And then if you really want to do, you could turn off Bluetooth transmission, but really there's no problem with leaving it on. So
I just left those
we'll
on
just
like
click
that.
Start the overlay. And now
Overlay
you
is
can see
started.
we've got an overlay at the bottom of the screen. It's pretty cool. And so
right now I don't have that overlay at the bottom of the screen. However, when I open it here, I do see the overlay at the bottom of the screen. So let me go right into Peloton here. The overlay is there. I'm going to start just adjust ride. Let me move this over a bit. Entertainment. Sorry, move it the other way. Experiences, just ride, no goal, start. Now you'll see, as I start to spin this, There's the overlay, right? Personally, I don't need to see the information on the overlay because I simply want it to get transmitted to my phone. So I would just simply minimize this, just like that. So you can see the overlay there on the bottom right. If I change resistance, decrease resistance, I'm just pedaling with my hand. Not going to get a lot of watts out of this. Okay. Now I'm going to pause the video because I just want to turn on Trainer Road app on the phone and then do a screenshot or screen video of the phone so you can see how that works in there.